Yeah. Can you introduce yourself and tell us your job?
Sure. My name is Dawn Ziegler. I work at Thomas Printworks. I do a range of graphic design, print work, layout, ads, and computer-aided drafting.
My name is Jasmine Hall, and I'm the web director at Maximize Digital Media.
My name is Nets Rodriguez from Studio Time Media. I am a graphic designer and multimedia consultant.
My name is Jackson Tejada. Yes, I work for the advertising department in Badcock and More Furniture. We do the inserts that you get in the mail every 2 weeks. We also do ads for the newspapers on an as-needed basis.
My name is Oscar Jinez. I am the graphic designer at Legoland, Florida.
In your own words, what is graphic design?
Graphic design is expression. It's what you want it to be. It's an emotion, it's a desire, it's a passion. It's whatever you make it your own to be.
Graphic design, to me, is creating a visual communication between a business and a client and speaking to their demographic and their audience.
It is, it's everything. It's in everything. It's in our bodies, you know, it's in our clothes, it's on the shoes of our feet. Anything that you see out here in the world, from the pole that's out there behind me to the concrete that's over here on that ground and the line that was drawn on there, everything is graphic design because it took somebody, you know, we're talking about blank space, nothing here. Even the paper that they had to draw on or the computer that we had to do graphic design on, there was a graphic designer that created that drew it out so that it could become what it would become. So graphic design to me is 100% creativity, just being able to be creative. That's what it is to me.
What advice would you give a startup graphic designer interested?
The best advice I've ever heard, which really helped me through a lot, was actually from Ira Glass, who said, he basically said that there's going to be a point where you're going to be looking at your work and you're going to hate it. And the whole point of you hating it is because you know what good design is, but you're not at the level yet where you can do good design. So you're going to have that little gap where you're going to have to get to the level where you're going to like your work, but you just have to get past it. If you stay there and if you think, I can't do good work, if you think this is horrible, why am I doing this, then you're going to miss getting past that gap. But if you stick with it and you allow yourself the understanding that you understand good design and you will get to the point where you do good design, then that's the best thing, is just to stick with it.
There's a lot of websites you can go out and network with, do a lot of businesses, go out and hand out business cards, talk to owners, see what they want out of, you know, what's wrong with their layout that they have now on their web, what's wrong with the placemats they have on their tables, what do you feel it needs to be changed. There's not a word. Always go out and, I think some of the Chamber of Commerce actually do meetings and gatherings, go through those and start passing out business cards. Go to City Hall and see if they need any graphic designers or any artwork done. Go to tattoo shops, see if you can hang out and create a few tattoo pieces for people. Not saying tattoo somebody, but create some stencil work.
I am going to sound like the biggest hypocrite, but you need to get away from the computer. You need to step out from those four walls that are holding you in and get away from the monitor. You need to go meet people, networking opportunities, getting involved in your community. Those ties are what is going to get you a job. Those ties are going to show that you're genuinely invested in making your community a better place, and people are going to invest in you. And that's how I got my job. I didn't interview traditionally. I didn't go in and submit resumes. I met my boss through a function that AdFed, which is the Advertising Federation, Keiser University brought me there as to represent them. And from that, I met my boss and we clicked, and she hired me right there, and I've been with her for almost 3 years.
Well, our creative process is it's a pretty big process. I mean, it starts with idea and concept. We have a bunch of people at our theme park that requests collateral, whether it be collateral signage in the park, website content, and from there we assess what's needed and we get to work. And I guess when we get to work, I mean we assess the needs and produce. I don't know how else to say it. We get to work.
How do you get rid of the creative block?
Well, it depends. Sometimes I find just ignoring it is sometimes the best thing to do, or like going to bed, going to sleep, just resting on it for the day, because I find that my subconscious tends to work on the issues even while I'm not, and then I come back to it fresh and seem to just get right through it with no problem at all.
How do you decide when you're done tweaking a project, or how do you know when it's actually done and you don't want to add more to it?
How do I know when it's done? I think maybe I've described this before. Your skeleton and bones at the computer, and that is as much you've given it. And it's really not that you really truly are, just use your imagination on this. It's that you've given it all you have. It's like the race to the final finish, everything, and you'll know, you definitely know when you've given it all you have, because you're exhausted from it. And it doesn't mean about the amount of time that you put into it, but sometimes you can just think, and that amount of thinking that you put into the process is exhausting. There's physical exhausting and there's mentally exhausting. And I think that it doesn't matter the amount of time. You could take 2 or 3 hours to do the project and have it completed, but you can be completely exhausted versus putting 4 or 5 days into it and be exhausted from just physically being exhausted. So I think once you know you've reached that point of mental exhaustion, that you've given it all you have, that's probably the best time to know that you've completed and put your best into that project. Because I've walked away from projects like literally, I don't want to do anything. I just want to go. You can put the best of the whatever there is in the world in front of me. Like, oh yeah, here, this is for you. Go enjoy this.